All right, it's week 4 of the NFL season. I'm going through and picking all 16 games for this week's slate of action against the spread. Let's not drag it out. Let's hop on into it. Okay, first up, Thursday night, we have the Seahawks traveling to the Arizona Cardinals. Seahawks getting 1.5 points here on the road. I have not been impressed by the Cardinals at all this season. They are 2-1, but beat a couple of bad teams. Probably should have beaten the 49ers as well. But Kyler Murray just has the body language that drives me insane. He's never going to overachieve. He's never going to bring this team over the top. They lose James Conner. Now Trey Benson has emerged. This defense is pretty good. This Seahawks defense is legit, though. And Sam Darnold's doing just enough, playing efficiently on offense. They can run the football. I like the Seahawks here, getting a 1.5 on the road in the division. Give me the Seahawks on Thursday night. Okay, top of the morning to you on Sunday. We have my Minnesota Vikings traveling to Dublin to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And this is an interesting one. Minnesota coming off a massive thromping of the Cincinnati Bengals, which they desperately needed. Carson Wentz steps in at quarterback. He was solid. But really, it was the run game and the defense with this team. Jordan Mason, 116 plus yards, 2 touchdowns. And the defense to boot was great. Now, Pittsburgh coming off a nice win in New England, 5 turnovers forced by this defense. Their defense kind of found their footing after struggling the first 2 weeks. The offense is the concern. The running game is kind of meh. Jalen Warren's kind of their leading back, and Aaron Rodgers really can't move. He's got like 2 passing routes in his arsenal right now. It's a quick slant or like a 20-yard go, like comeback to the back shoulder. It's rough, and Minnesota's be able to rush the passer with 4. This is going to be an ugly-looking game. I hate to do it, but I'm going to take my Vikings minus 1.5 here in Ireland. I just think they're going to shut down the Steelers offense completely and be able to generate enough in the running game with Jordan Mason. All right, Washington Commanders traveling to the Atlanta Falcons. We're not 100% sure on Jaden Daniels' status yet. He did practice, says he's feeling better, but they still may hold him out. They are being cautious with their young rookie. And Mariota did a pretty nice job against Las Vegas. Atlanta, a dismal performance against Carolina. Honestly, flat out embarrassed. Now they're getting 2.5 points at home. I like the Falcons here in this spot. I like a home dog after getting embarrassed. I think they bounce back, find a way to keep this game close, could actually win this game. I haven't been overwhelmed by Washington. The defense still gave up a ton of big plays to Las Vegas. So if Atlanta can get something going in the passing game, get Bijan going on the ground, this could be a game where the Falcons bounce back. Now, I am concerned Michael Penix is 0-4 against teams that score at least 7 points. So if the Washington can get some points on the board, not bodes well for the Falcons. But I'm going to take the Falcons here as a home dog in week 4. Give me the Falcons plus 2.5. All right, the Bills and the Saints. Bills coming off a 10 days rest. They played last Thursday. Saints coming off of absolutely getting slaughtered by the Seattle Seahawks. And now we got to look at the travel here. New Orleans, pretty far south in this country, flying all the way up to Seattle, then back home, now back all the way out east to Buffalo. That's a lot of travel. I like to keep my eyes on that. Buffalo staying at home, 10 days off. I like the Bills here. They didn't cover the big spread against Miami on Thursday, but I think the Bills take care of this 15.5. I think we're getting to the Saints that we know and love or we're expecting in the season. Horrendous offense. Defense really doesn't have much of a chance, and an abysmal special teams unit. Give me Buffalo. Bounce back from a lackluster performance against Miami. Really pouring on the Saints this weekend. All right, Browns traveling to Detroit, coming off a monster win against the Green Bay Packers in Cleveland. Detroit coming off a monster win against the Ravens in Baltimore. So both teams flying high. 8.5 here is a big number. We've seen this Browns defense be really, really solid this season. The offense has been pretty inconsistent, but this Browns team should be 2-1. They should have won week 1 against Cincinnati. Detroit feeling really good after a beatdown week 1 against Green Bay. This Detroit team, though, at home is a different squad. The defense can fly. The offense is going to score points. And the Cleveland defense is a hell of a lot better in Cleveland than they are on the road. So I'm going to swallow the 8.5 points here and take the Lions. I think the Browns have a little bit of a letdown after that huge win against Green Bay. Okay, the Panthers traveling to New England to take on the Patriots. And I don't know what to do with either of these two teams. Both teams 1-2. Panthers looked horrible, maybe the worst team in the league the first 2 weeks. Get a monster win last week against the Falcons. New England only win against Miami. They hung with Pittsburgh. Week 1, they kind of got bullied by Vegas. This Patriots team just feels like they have no offensive explosion, man. The run game is mediocre. The running backs keep fumbling. Are we going to get Travion Henderson this week? Probably. The receiving core feels bad. Defense is okay. And Carolina, it's like really been just hit or miss. Like if they can block for Bryce Young, he's okay. They can move the football. But they really didn't have a ton of yards even with all those points and blowing it out. 4.5, though, is a big number for two teams like this. I think I'm going to bite the bullet, though, and swallow the 4.5 with the Patriots. I just don't trust Carolina, especially on the road. This could be a team that's like competent at home, but just dreadful on the road. Patriots desperately need a win, and I think they find a way to do it here in week 4. Okay, we got the Chargers traveling across country to take on the New York Football Giants and newly named starting quarterback Jackson Dart. Giants getting 5.5 points here. This offense has looked completely dreadful through the first few weeks. And Dart coming in could add some energy to this team. You got Cam Scatterbo, the rookie running back out of Arizona State, who is just a pit bull and a crayon eater. Malik Neighbors, you want to get him involved. He's been pretty quiet last week. The defense has been good for the Giants, but the Chargers feel like one of the best teams in football now. I am a little worried about the travel starting to rack up. They were in Brazil week 1. They flew back in, into the country. It's just a lot now back across to New York. But the Chargers feel just a lot better than this Giants team, even though the vibes are good in New York. Jackson Dart as a rookie, not great defense to be going up against. Chargers defense is very good, and Jesse Minter is going to be throwing a whole bunch of different looks at the young quarterback. So give me the Chargers minus 5.5 here in New York. Okay, maybe the game of the weekend, at least the game in this window. We got the Eagles going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay getting 3.5 points at home here. Both teams 3-0. Really, really good matchup. Two of my favorites in the NFC this year. And Philly hasn't looked overwhelming at all. Again, a scrape-by win in week 1 against the Cowboys, a scrape-by win in week 2 against the Chiefs, a massive comeback against the Rams, but you need a block of field goal to win that game. Now, the number looked bigger. They hosed us last week, covering that on the field goal return for a touchdown to end the game. And Tampa plays nothing but close games. 3 straight game-winning drives inside of a minute for Baker Moneymaker. Buccaneers at home, getting 3.5 points. I love this number here. Give me the Buccaneers all day. I kind of lean the Buccaneers to potentially win this game, but this game feels definitely within a field goal. Last second, Eagles maybe. Could be the Buccaneers. Should be a fun one on Sunday. All right, the toilet bowl of the AFC South. The 0-3 Titans taking on the 0-3 Houston Texans, and Houston is laying 6.5 points here at home. Now, this Texans defense is one of the best defenses in football, but the offense is absolutely dreadful. This offensive line is so bad. I mean, good God. And the Titans really haven't been much better. The defense had some good moments in week 1, but they haven't done much. Cam Ward's turning the ball over a little bit. I do like what I see. Brian Callahan's easily the worst head coach in the NFL, I think. I didn't really like him going into the season, but man, his coaching display last week is just dreadful. I just don't think I can trust the Texans to win a game by more than 6.5 points. Like, I know it's a touchdown, but this Houston offense is so bad. It'll find a way to be a close game. I think the Texans probably get their first win this season, but Tennessee's been going through it with their defenses, so it's not like anything new. They're not going to be overwhelmed by seeing another elite defense like they've seen through the first 3 weeks of the season. So give me the Titans getting 6.5 here because I just don't trust this Texans offense. All right, Indiana Jones and the Indianapolis Colts traveling to sunny Los Angeles to take on the Rams. Rams laying 3.5 points here at home. And look, these are two very interesting football teams. The Colts are the number 1 story, I think, or at least the number 1 surprise in the NFL so far. 3-0. They're comparing to like the 07 Patriots and Tom Brady's. They've had 1 punt through 3 games. They have had 0 turnovers. They're absolutely dominating. Jonathan Taylor's having a massive season, especially if you got him in fantasy. And the Rams, they blow that 19-point lead against Philadelphia last week. Tough scenes for them. I do think they bounce back, though. I think this is where the pumpkin turns here. I don't think the Colts are a bad team. I just think they're due. Their defense isn't going to be able to get all these stops. The offense isn't going to be scoring on like every single drive. This is still an elite Rams defense. The Colts receivers don't kind of scare me like AJ. They don't have like this big physical looming presence like AJ Brown does at receivers, which is what the Rams have struggled with against Philly. Otherwise, they've shut teams down. So give me the Rams here. I think the Colts come back to earth a little bit, but we will be surprised that the Colts are competitive in this game. And I do still think the Colts are a good team. Rams really need a win, though. Don't want to fall to 2-2 if you're a serious contender in the NFC. Okay, this is an interesting one. The Jaguars traveling to the San Francisco 49ers. The Jags are a weird team. They really should be 3-0. They should not have lost that game to the Bengals. They picked off Browning 3 times or 2 times. It was just a weird game all around when Burrow went down. And the 49ers, they're held together by bubblegum and glue, and not even good glue. It might be like those purple glue sticks that 5-year-olds use that don't really stick. I mean, this team is falling apart. Nick Bosa now out for the season. Mac Jones is banged up. Brock Purdy probably going to be back, but if he's not, I think Adrian Martinez is the starting quarterback for this team. We got another Nebraska Martinez starting a quarterback for San Francisco. This could get really ugly. Christian McCaffrey is back to his prime young self, though. He's looking really good. 50-plus carries, 25-plus receptions. He's been awesome. Ricky Pearsall's emerging as the #1 receiver, and the defense is good. But without Bosa, I think this Jags D is going to do enough to keep this game close. They're getting 3.5 points here. The Jags offense has been dreadful, but I think they keep this game close. I like the Niners to win in another good game. Field goal, I like for the Niners. So give me the 3.5 with the Jaguars, especially if both those quarterbacks don't play. Brock Purdy plays. I'm feeling a little bit better about potentially taking the Niners, but for now, give me the Jaguars and the points. All right, now the best game of the late window, the Baltimore Ravens traveling to the Kansas City Chiefs. And once again, the Chiefs are home dogs. Both teams 1-2. And honestly, this is a game of the Kansas City Chiefs have zero explosion. Their defense is okay, but they're really good. They win games. They find ways to win. Where the Baltimore Ravens do the exact opposite. This is the best team that I do not trust in any situation against any good team in any close game. They just do stupid shit. They just do stupid shit. And now Derrick Henry's fumbled every game this season. 2 of them have cost them 2 wins, and they're laying 2.5 points here on the road. With that being said, I just don't know if the Chiefs can muster up enough offense in this game. The Ravens defense is really bad, but we're throwing a Tyquan Thornton out there. Xavier Worthy did practice, so potentially he is back. No run game really for the Chiefs. I'm going to take the Chiefs plus 2.5, though. They're getting points at home. I think the Chiefs love these close, grindy games. And like I just said, I have zero trust in the Ravens in a close game. So the Ravens are going to have to prove it to me that they can win a close game, make good plays down the stretch against a decent team at least. I don't know if the Chiefs are good, but they're at least a competent and well-run team at quarterback and head coach. So give me the Chiefs getting 2.5 here at home. All right, the Chicago Bears traveling to the Las Vegas Raiders. Caleb Williams coming off his best offensive performance in his entire career. Ben Johnson and all the juice on the Bears. Look at the Bears. This defense is still not very good. They were at home. They've played well at home so far. Now they're going to Las Vegas, and honestly, I don't think the Raiders look that bad against Washington, at least on the offensive side of the ball. I thought Geno Smith was fine. The defense finally broke after looking good the first 2 weeks. But at home here, I'm gonna zig when everyone's zagging over here. I'm gonna take the Raiders minus 1.5. I just don't think this Bears team is mature enough and ready to go and get a road win in the NFL. They're out in Las Vegas. Knowing this, Caleb's probably at the nail salons all day on Saturday. So I'm gonna take Vegas here. This is a kitchen sink. Gotta win this game. Throw everything at them. And a bad defense could help the offense get going. They got to run Ashton Jeanty more. Brock Bowers is still banged up. That's hurting. But I like what Geno Smith has done so far. He's been up and down, but he's had 2 decent games and 1 bad game. Think he's going to give us another decent performance. So give me the Raiders at home minus 1.5. Lord have mercy on the Dallas Cowboys this Sunday night. Cowboys hosting the Green Bay Packers. Cowboys laying 6.5 points here, and Green Bay coming off of a devastating loss to the Cleveland Browns. They looked awful on offense. There was just a lot of bad things going on. Now they get to face the Cowboys defense, who made Russell Wilson look like his old Hall of Fame self and gave Caleb Williams his best game ever. And the Packers defense is for real because they have this really good pass rusher. You might have heard of him. His name's Micah Parsons. Used to play for the Cowboys. They could really use somebody like that on their defense. And the Cowboys offense wasn't great without CeeDee Lamb. They're super top heavy, this team. Offensive line's a little banged up. Tyler Booker's out. So it's going to be Dak and George Pickens running for their damn lives. Give me the Packers in a bounce back spot. Under a touchdown. No problem here. They're going to look big. Sunday Night Football. Get everybody back on glazing the Packers again when they play the worst defense maybe in the history of the NFL. First of our Monday night doubleheaders, we have the New York Jets taking on the Miami Dolphins. This is the dumpster of the AFC East now. 0-3, 0-3. Dolphins coming off a 10 days rest. And you know what? I think I'm going to take the Dolphins here at minus 2.5. I don't know, man. They have extra time off. The Jets haven't looked good. They had a nice finish to the game. Tyrod Taylor made it a little interesting for this offense. I just think the Jets defense really hasn't been that good this year, and the Dolphins will find something on offense. So give me the Dolphins minus 2.5. I'm not confident in this pick whatsoever. I trust neither of these teams, and neither of these teams are any good. So if the Jets go out there and win, I won't be surprised. If the Dolphins go out there and win and cover, not going to be surprised either. This is a weird one. Why do we have 2 Monday night games? Dolphins -2.5. And finally, to wrap up week 4, we have the Cincinnati Bengals traveling to the Denver Broncos. Denver laying 7.5 here. Broncos probably should be 2-1. The Bengals are 2-1, and God bless them. Now, they didn't really stand much of a chance against Minnesota. 5 turnovers, 2 defensive touchdowns. They were just so sloppy with the ball. I'm not going to completely quit on this team yet, but Denver desperately needs a win. The offenses look okay after week 1. They were decent against the Chargers. Defense hasn't been what we've expected it to be. I just don't think the Bengals have anything there. Like, maybe this is throw it all out there. Jamar Chase might hold a mutiny if they don't feed him the ball a million times, but he's going up against Patrick Surtain II, one of the best corners in the NFL. Give me the Broncos in a bounce back, -7.5. The hook is a little scary here because I could see Denver faffing around and, winning this game by just a touchdown and making Broncos fans' lives a living hell, sweating this one out. But I'm going to go ahead and take the points because I do think the Bengals are just very limited overall, especially on the defense. And now Jake Browning at quarterback could be out there getting exposed. They can't get any run game going. Give me the Broncos -7.5. All right, to recap the action, I got the Seahawks +1.5 against the Cardinals, Vikings -1.5 against the Steelers, Falcons +2.5 against the Commanders, Bills -15.5 against the Saints, Lions -8.5 against the Browns, Patriots -4.5 against the Panthers, Chargers -5.5 against the Giants, Buccaneers +3.5 against the Eagles, Titans +6.5 against the Titans, Rams -4.5 against the Colts, Jaguars +3.5 against the Niners, Chiefs +2.5 against the Ravens, Raiders -1.5 against the Bears, Packers -6.5 against the Cowgirls, Dolphins -2.5 against the Jets, and the Broncos -7.5 against the Bungles. All right, if you guys haven't already, drop a quick like on this video, subscribe to the channel. We got daily sports content for you guys. Sign up for a channel membership. Help support me, allows me to keep making this great content for you guys every single day, a live stream or a video of the football season. Again, like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.